везли продукты с собой.
Индийская еда более...
Взрывоопасную находку помечают флажком. И так, шаг за шагом, путь механизированной колонны инженерного подразделения заминирован. Российские саперы уничтожают залоганную взрывчатку.
Все, 10, стали!
Растяжку срывают металлической кошкой, движения сковывают защитные спецкостюмы, но особенно сложно в такой броне переносить жару.
Как бы жарко, но в тренировках присутствует адреналин и особо не чувствуется этой жары. И также, повторюсь, ради победы мы готовы на все.
Конкурс «Безопасный маршрут» включает в себя также работу на инженерной спецтехнике. Вот экипажи тренируются закапывать противотанковые рвы, чтобы обеспечить проезд колесной техники. Там, где закопать яму невозможно, возводят тяжелый механизированный мост.
Буквально 17 минут, и через яму глубиной 6 метров и длиной 40 метров теперь можно перейти. Вся конструкция выдерживает 60 тонн. Этого будет вполне достаточно, чтобы вся механизированная колонна инженерного подразделения могла преодолеть это препятствие. Но, конечно, на соревновании нужно будет для победы действовать еще быстрее.
Конкурс «Безопасный маршрут» в китайском городе Корла стартует 20 августа. А суворовский натиск уже в разгаре. Перед выходом на трассу мотострелки также тренировались в условиях пустыни на российских и китайских машинах. Тренировки проходят на учебном полигоне. На соревновательной трассе препятствий будет больше, и они гораздо сложнее. А пока у механиков есть возможность привыкнуть к зыбкой почве, из-за которой на поворотах машины сильно заносят. По очереди на тренировки выезжают еще команды двух стран – Венесуэлы и Ирана. И только китайская команда готовится на отдельном полигоне, который скрыт от всех других участников. На свою тренировку они не пускают и журналистов, зато за подготовкой российской команды следят особенно тщательно.
На этапе стрельбы каждый экипаж должен поразить 5 мишеней основным калибром. На это дается 25 снарядов. При этом нужно быть максимально метким, потому что за каждый промах придется ехать один дополнительный круг. Если цель не будет обстреляна совсем, ну, например, потому что закончились патроны, тогда будет добавлено каждому экипажу 2 дополнительных круга.
Помимо основных мишеней, экипажи должны будут уничтожить цель, имитирующую вертолет. На это дается 10 снарядов. Также будет и 3 мишени для пулемета. Денис Ивлев, Дмитрий Гаврин, Егор Воробьев, телеканал «Звезда», Китай, город Корла.
В Эльбрусе на базе учебного центра горной подготовки и выживания Терскол военные горных подразделений из 9 стран проходят первый этап конкурса «Эльбрусское кольцо». Команды соревнуются в ориентировании на местности. Состязаются на этом этапе участники в одиночном и парном скалолазании. Результаты пойдут в общекомандный зачет. Кроме того, подъем на скалодроме – это своего рода подготовка к восхождению на Эльбрус, которым в конце августа и завершится этот конкурс армейских международных игр. А в Калининградской области высадился морской десант. За звание лучших борются морпехи из 6 стран. Сегодня они прошли изматывающую гонку. Всего 1200 метров, но какой ценой организаторы устроили настоящий спринт на выживание. Кто справился лучше? Сенсационные итоги первого этапа конкурса в репортаже Максима Румянцева.
Перед началом соревнований каждая команда использует свои методы поддержания боевого духа. Одни делают это крайне эмоционально, другие достаточно сдержанно. В остальном все равны.
Внимание! Марш!
Первое препятствие — 2-метровый забор. Все еще свежие, полны сил. Препятствия преодолевают, как видите, сходу, без затруднений. Но буквально через 2 минуты все изменится. Уже к концу первого участка темп начнет снижаться.
Всего таких участков 3. По 6-7 препятствий на каждом. Между ними скоростные отрезки. Итого 1200 метров только по прямой. А еще несколько десятков то вверх, то вниз. Это очень изматывает.
Паса, парни, паса, паса! Ой, 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 ой!
На На старт команды выходят парами в порядке, определенном жеребьевкой.
Команда Российской Федерации на дистанции самая опытная. Команды по понятным причинам дома и стены помогают, ну а препятствия стараются не мешать.
Тут же убеждаемся в опасности преждевременных прогнозов. Наши морпехи проходят полосу препятствий не без штрафных очков. Все ошибки фиксируют судьи на трассе. Разбор полетов предстоит чуть позже.
Жарковато, тяжеловато, но все равно все это нам не помеха, мы бежали. Бежалось нормально, в принципе. Ну, там были косяки малейшие, но все хорошо, нормально.
А вот погода сегодня подыгрывает гостям, которые в плюс 30 под палящим солнцем на Балтике явно чувствуют себя как дома.
Команда Ирана на финише попадает сразу в объятия болельщиков и служивцев. Судя по всему, эти ребята совсем не растратили свои силы, очень бодро финишировали.
Впереди еще 3 этапа, где командам предстоит показать не только слаженную работу по преодолению препятствий, но и мастерство в обращении с оружием и техникой. Максим Румянцев и Виталий Ременец, телеканал «Звезда», полигон морской пехоты «Хмелевка», Калининградская область.
На строевом плацу Новосибирского высшего военного командного училища состоялось торжественное построение лучших разведчиков из 6 стран. Поздравляли военнослужащих из Индии. Республика празднует 75-ю годовщину Дня независимости. Команда, которая уже второй раз принимает участие в конкурсе «Арми», отличник войсковой разведки, привнесла в игры неповторимый колорит. Надежда Котормус расскажет.
Индийская сборная марширует в своей неповторимой манере и еще не знает, что сегодняшнее утреннее построение сюрприз. Коллеги решили поздравить их с государственным праздником – Днем независимости Индии. В этот особенный день команда охотно показывает казарму, которая на время игр стала вторым домом, как и положено, минималистично и функционально.
Скромный солдатский быт и строгий порядок сегодня немного нарушили, отмечают День независимости Индии. Я с удовольствием присоединюсь.
Наше внимание привлекают огромные ящики в холле. Оказывается, это еда. Прошлый визит показал, русская кухня вкусная, но скучают и по родной, так что привезли продукты с собой.
Индийская еда более острая, пряная. В прошлый раз мы заметили, что здесь едят менее острую пищу.
В столовой гостей встречают затейливо декорированные блюда на любой вкус, пожелания по остроте. Повара тоже постарались учесть.
Особый подарок для индийской сборной. Сегодня специальное меню. Понравилось ли оно гостям, узнаем. Вам понравилось?
Good afternoon.
Да, мне очень нравится. Острая курочка очень хороша. Отличный вкус.
Но главный подарок – это возможность разделить радость с другими, рассказывают участники команды.
Мы очень счастливы сегодня разделить нашу радость с друзьями из разных стран. Армии разных стран одинаковые, и мы рады, что Российская Федерация дала нам эту возможность участвовать. Мы тренировались и сделаем все, чтобы победить.
Индийская команда ранее уже поднималась на верхнюю ступень пьедестала армии. Удастся ли повторить, узнаем совсем скоро. Старт первого этапа уже в эту среду. Надежда Котормус, Игорь Клейн, телеканал «Звезда», Новосибирск.
Мы подвели итоги очередного дня армейских международных игр. С вами был Павел Ремнев. Болеем за наших и, конечно, ждем побед. Увидимся на дневниках армии 2022. На телеканале «Звезда» новый выпуск дневника армейских международных игр 2022. С вами Павел Ремнев. И вот о чем мы расскажем вам сегодня. Их зовет глубина. Тяжелый в буквальном смысле этап на конкурсе водолазов. Кто победил на очередном этапе в Иране?
А вот Виктории Косогляденко пришлось очень постараться, чтобы ничего не пропустить.
Ради самых красивых кадров нам приходится идти на хитрости.
И что общего нашлось между соревнованиями лучших снайперов и латиноамериканским карнавалом? Такое пропустить нельзя.
Ну и несложно догадаться, куда же выстроилась такая огромная очередь от начала площадки.
6 часов российские военные повара готовили уникальные блюда и теперь наслаждаются заслуженным вниманием. Это конкурс «Полевая кухня» в Узбекистане.
Итак, в Иране уже начались соревнования по водолазному многоборью. Испытания глубиной команды из России, Ирана, Китая, Индии, Сирии и Венесуэлы проходят в водах Оманского залива. Как водолазы оказывают помощь затонувшей субмарине, увидел мой коллега Алексей Кошкин.
Все уже занимают свои водолазные посты. Конечно же, они их видели на тренировках, но вот сейчас наши спортсмены, наши водолазы уже пошли экипироваться внутрь своего водолазного поста, проверять оборудование. И сегодня у них один из самых трудных этапов – это оказание помощи затонувшей субмарине. Разминка прямо в водах Оманского залива, то есть в этой соленой воде сейчас спортсмены уже практически наши готовы, будут экипироваться с минуты на минуту. Ничего сложного, обычное водолазное оборудование, баллоны, гидрокостюмы. Будет участвовать только один человек, он должен будет пройти весь этап. Сначала подключить специальные клапаны, которые будут проводить воздух, а потом уже специальным пеналом он привезет по волнам дыхательное оборудование экипажу затонувшей, условно затонувшей субмарины.
Отработал на все 100%. Главное, ошибок не сделал. С холодной головой подошел к этому вопросу и выполнил задачу поставленную.
Until Sunday, we're going to see 30 more teams, 30 more crews take the field. Fine weather, plus 22, 67% humidity, light wind, light breeze from the lake. So, introducing the third cruise for the first division, Azerbaijan and Mongolia. We'd like to wish everyone pleasant entertainment. Everything is broadcast live by Zvezda, the Star TV channel, the Ministry of Defense, Russian Federation, Mil.ru, and YouTube. Introducing the judges, Lieutenant Colonel Helshilun Sansen-George and Sakit Verdiev from Azerbaijan. 2 tanks are taking part in this race that was due to the cast. That's the way the die was cast. And these teams are quite strong, very close, certainly. Both showing us impressive results. For the first cruise, Mongolia was first, closely followed by Azerbaijan. So let us see what happens today. Now, introducing the cruise, red-colored tank, Mongolia. Tank commander, Lieutenant Agin Baatar Nyamachir. The gunner, Senior Lieutenant Eng Baatar Tur Amgalan. And the driver is the Senior Warrant Officer Tsagach Yolk, Mongolia. Now, introducing the third fire line, the yellow color-coded tank, the third crew for the Republic of Azerbaijan. The tank commander, Warrant Officer Safiyar Aslanov, gunner Sergeant Bakhtiyar Gumbetov, and the driver is Private Mirali Ibrahimov. Azerbaijan, please put your hands together, yellow-colored tank. And this is your tank biathlon host, Nikolai Fedorov, co-hosting for the English-speaking audiences, Dmitry Kulitsky. And the signal to start the race is given here at Alabina. Now, that was the signal for the crews to take their places. Gentlemen, start your engines. These are T-72B3s provided by Russian Federation, the hosts, to all of the contest participants. However, the crews, the teams, are also entitled to import their own fighting vehicles. China and Belarus typically brings their own Chinese 96 Type 96B, and Belarus uses T-72B3s from the armed forces of the Republic of Belarus, earlier supplied by Russia. Today, Mongolia will be the first to start, and Azerbaijan will follow with an interval. The chief referee for the contest, Major General Kirill Kulakov, gives us the command to start the race. And just look at these lovely young fans in the stands supporting our tankers. Well, perhaps they will become tankers one day. And now, the first obstacle is the restricted maneuvering section. We can see Mongolia carefully dancing their armored vehicle around, however, scuffing one of the poles. We'll see if this will result in a penalty. Certainly knocking or scuffing the poles normally results in red flags and a penalty pit stop. Unfortunately, this is true. As Mongolia is directed to a penalty pit stop, there are 8 various pit stop locations throughout the track, and this is the replay. Yes, the gun actually caught the edge of the pole, scuffing it. The rules of the tank biathlon stipulate that scuffed poles at certain obstacles result in penalty pit stop, while on other obstacles these poles serve just to show direction. However, the restricted passage, the restricted maneuvering and slopes, scuffing poles result in pit stops. Now, during the pit stops usually waste about 1 minute of the cruise time. We saw Mongolia loaded their 3 125mm shells, and they're about to proceed to the first fire mission. They're now at the fire line, and the 3 tank-imitating targets are raised simultaneously. The gunner reports ready to fire, and there is only 20 seconds allowed for the first shot for Division 1 crews. Certainly the situation is different for the second division. This time cutoff doesn't apply, and we see Mongolia already missing the first 20-second time. This could also result in penalties. There is a delay here. Let's hope everything goes well today. After the unexpected, dramatic race yesterday with South Ossetia, when the tank was changed after a delay, however, the crew still couldn't continue with the second. And now fire is on target. Well done for Mongolia. Senior Lieutenant Enkhbat Arturam Galan is certainly making us hold our breath today. Second, it's also on target. Fine fire accuracy from this first division team. 1700-meter target remains. 2 targets at 1800 meters have already been struck. And now the third shot. Unfortunately, it looks like it's under. Now, first division teams, in case of non-hitting the targets, will need to load additional ammunition rounds. In case 1 target is missed, 1 round is issued, 2 targets, 2 and 3 respectively. However, if they miss with additional ammunition, following this, they will need to do penalty laps. 2 penalty laps for each target missed. These are the most critical of all the targets in the individual hits. We are now in the replays. Fine work, however, the third target proved too difficult for the crew. This was the third shot. We can see it clearly in the replay, going under, striking the ground. Well, the targets are waiting. We want you to hit these targets, guys. That's why we're here today. And this year's hits were certainly bright and remarkable. Lots of targets, lots of hits. Not as many misses, certainly, and minimum number of penalties in the first division. Second division certainly finds the situation more difficult. However, the second division is improving year on year. And alas, the third target is missed, resulting in 2 penalty laps for Mongolia team. That's what they just earned themselves. 2 penalty lap distances allocated at the opposite edges of the track, and the team is able to select the closest one to do their penalty laps. Now, Azerbaijan is in the ground. They started. Let's wish the best of luck to our friends, partners and brothers from Azerbaijan. We hope they'll also show us a fine performance, and this is going to be, and certainly, an unpredictable, tough fight between these 2 rivals. Now, first and second crews have already showed us that the teams are well prepared. Certainly strong sides, quite equal in terms of fire accuracy with similar statistics. And the first crew for Mongolia showed us 29.09. First crew for Azerbaijan showed us 31.04. Well, only less than 2 minutes difference. And the second cruise, Mongolia presented 32.35, and the second crew for Azerbaijan 34.11. Once again, a very small difference, exactly the same as for the first cruise, just around 100 seconds. Now we are watching Azerbaijan loading their standard 125mm rounds. At this stage, Mongolia is ahead in the rankings. We equally support and follow both teams, and today we're going to learn who is going to be the strongest on the day. We expect this race to last no longer than 40 minutes. Now, what is the reason for this slowdown in the ammunition load? No, there are no problems. We certainly would like to avoid this. Yesterday certainly was a bright day. We saw Armenia racing into turns and almost flipping the tank in an amazing spectacle of speed. However, we hope this will not happen today, because the race had to be stopped yesterday due to that incident. And coming back to the track, we'd like to also note that all the tankers, they're not very tall. Usually they're about 1.70 m due to the space considerations inside the tank. However, these slim soldiers are lifting these 29-kilo shells as easy as feathers, passing them over to load ammunition. And now Azerbaijan gunnery sergeant Gombetov Bakhtiyar fires the first shot. I think they made it within the first 20-second allotment. It's a hit. Just look, it touched the very edge, bottom edge of the target. We can see it. Second fire, and well done. Almost a bullseye shot from Azerbaijan. Certainly Sergeant Bakhtiyar Gumbetov is in pretty good shape today. We can see him tracking for the third target. 1800-meter distance. All of the fans are at the edge of their seats watching this direct live broadcast, and it's a miss. This was the replay for the second shot. And actually the third shot hit the first target again that had already been struck by the team. They struck the same target twice. The yellow color of the targets actually presents more difficulty compared to the other color-coded targets due to sometimes the sun make it quite difficult for the gunners to spot the location of the targets. And perhaps this was the reason for re-engaging the target that already had been hit by the team. Once again to the replay. First shot, certainly leaving us no doubt. The target was touched at the bottom edge. We can see the hole. And second, next target, certainly well done. And the third, look at it. It strikes the first target again. Certainly a nice shot, however, the wrong target. The referee commission, following every day's races, sits and carefully use within the international panel of referees, carefully inspects the targets, votes, and takes a final decision on the races. Mongolia records its first lap time, 11 minutes and 13 seconds. 2 out of 5 targets hit. Same fire accuracy as Azerbaijan. And quite soon we're going to see the next designated pit stop obstacle that replaces the brake this year. We can see Mongolia now stopping in the designated pit stop obstacle. They have to dismount, inspect the vehicle, and then load their machine gun. Just now we saw Azerbaijan slightly skidding across the track, but leveling the vehicle. It's very important to follow your own track. This is a 12.7mm Cord machine gun used for engaging low aerial flying targets, such as drones or helicopters. We can see the ball flying for some reason next to the Mongolian tank. We'll clarify whether this will result in anything. No, verification. This wasn't done by the tank, but actually by the gunner. It was the gunner knocking it. Just look at the replay now, jumping off the tank. Scuds the ball with his powerful shoulder. Oh well, no penalties should be assigned for that. The tank did well, and Mongolia continues as Azerbaijan is now in the same designated pit stop obstacle, and they are about to load the 12.7mm machine gun. They need to set it up, and certainly this is a powerful weapon used to engage drones, various types of aerial vehicles that are now changing the nature of tank warfare. Well, this 12.7mm machine gun is quite effective against this type of flying targets. Azerbaijan doing quite well, breathing into the neck of the Mongolia crew. A close fight this is going to be. Now the slope is quite difficult with drivers making quite a few mistakes. The smallest push at the controls changes the direction of the tank, because the tank is moving at the angles, which makes it quite easy to knock these bolts. However, this was well done. No problems. Oh no! Two poles went down. Certainly this will result in a penalty pit stop, unfortunately, for a Republic of Azerbaijan, which will set them back for some valuable seconds. After the next fire mission, they will probably take this penalty. And Mongolia is now nearing its next fire mission. They need to now load 15 rounds, 12.7mm with 6 traces, and open fire on the helicopter target. Seems quite straightforward, just aim and shoot. However, certainly practice makes perfect. And the target today is located at a 900-meter distance, despite being quite large and the similar in size to the enemy helicopter. Certainly it is not an easy challenge. In case even one round strikes the target, the bright flare is going to smoke, giving us a clear signal that the target was hit. Now, tank commander for Mongolia, Lieutenant Engin Batar Nyamachir, a second-year veteran of this tank biathlon, just opened fire with shot volleys, and it's hit. The fire is smoking. Well done for Mongolia. A young, however experienced 25-year-old tank commander for Mongolia. However, when we ask Engin Batar, what are you dreaming of? He told us he is dreaming of becoming a general in his nation's armed forces. We're sure that if he keeps going the way he is going to continue and achieve his dreams. As we all know very well, dreams do come true. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hope they come true for all of us, as well as for Engin Batar Nyamachir. And Azerbaijan is now at the next fire mission, back-to-back following Mongolia, loading the ammunition belt with the same 12.7mm cartridges. He needs to lock the cartridge belt in place. No doubt, no mistakes shall be made by this experienced crew. And now the tank commander for Azerbaijan, Zefiyar Aslanov, reports ready to fire. Target is raised, 900-meter range to target. Nothing new for this tank commander. He is a third-year veteran. However, the target is moving in the wind, still hitting the target. Not even this waving of the target in the wind did not prevent Zefiyar Aslanov from striking this helicopter target. Well done. No enemy, no penalty laps are assigned, and the tanks are back on track. 4 out of 5 for Azerbaijan now. In terms of target accuracy, 3 out of 5 for Mongolia. Well, after actually 4. However, this was a second engagement of the same target, which was not counted. And Now I'd like to remind you that Azerbaijan was penalized with 2 penalty laps for missing one of the tag targets. However, the chief referee news just in. A decision was taken that the target was hit. Apparently one of the 3 targets was lowered and then re-raised, not giving the team any other opportunity, but hit the same target. So we'll consider all of the 3 targets. Certainly a thrilling race, back-to-back between Mongolia and Azerbaijan. Leading Azerbaijan in this race. Mongolia started first actually, and there is only 500-meter distance between the targets. Best time in the individual heats was recorded by the first crew, Russian Federation, 20 minutes and 12 seconds, sent by Eastern Military District. Next, the second crew with 22, and third line is Belarus. Individual heats are still not over, they're going to run until Sunday daily. And on Sunday, we're expecting a showdown between the Division 1 crews featuring Russian Federation third crew, China, Belarus, and Kyrgyzstan. We're eagerly expecting the crews to take field for the final hits. And certainly this can be watched live, not just at Zvezda Star TV channel, official website, Ministry of Defense, Russian Federation, mil.ru, and also on RuTube and YouTube. Watch the tank biathlon, support the Russian Federation and all the other teams, and I'd like to wish all of you the best of entertainment in this amazing, adrenaline-fueled spectacle. Now, Azerbaijan is catching up on Mongolia, streaming along, recording their second lap time, 21:46. The makers good time. However, just remember that 22:42 was the best time by the second crew, Russian Federation. So Mongolia is slightly behind this time. They need to push harder. Certainly everyone wants to become leaders in the race, leaders of the individual hits, and certainly receive the prizes and respect of their countrymen and colleagues. Threadway obstacle has been correctly traversed, and just look, Azerbaijan has caught up with Mongolia at the designated pit stop, now loading up the ammunition and the coaxial machine gun for their next fire mission, about to engage the enemy AT-RPG unit. This is a tank Kalashnikov coaxial machine gun that's going to be set up, and the Commander-in-Chief, Army General Oleg Salikov, has taken this decision that this year the crews are going to load the machine guns during the designated pit stops. Mongolia streaming ahead, however Azerbaijan is slightly in front on time. Mongolia has a lot of pressure on their shoulders right now. 2 more slope obstacles remain, and of course we know that slopes can present problems. Just look at Azerbaijani fans supporting the team here in the stands of Vladimir, and also everyone in this live broadcast. send your love, your support for these tankers. And this is your all-time tank biathlon host, Nikolai Fedorov, and co-hosting for the English-speaking audiences, Dmitry Kulitsky. Very fine race today, dramatic and certainly unpredictable until the last minute between Mongolia and Azerbaijan. The third crews are putting on their best. Hopefully white flags will indicate no fault. Senior Lieutenant is the Mongolian gunner, and the driver, Senior Warrant Officer Tsagach Yol, would like to wish his wife happy birthday. His wife is supporting him in front of the TV screen for the 7th year. Yes, he is a 7-year veteran of Mongolian Armed Forces and stand by looking for a very experienced crew from the strong side. Now vertical step over S-car obstacle. Not a simple challenge climbing the 90-centimeter vertical step, but this 46-ton armored T-72 B3 makes it look easy climbing the snow obstacle now. About to face the next fire mission on the enemy AT-RPG unit. Certainly not just the fans are concerned for the outcome of this fight. Just think of the pressure on Mongolia tankers. They understand they don't have any right to make a mistake. And if Azerbaijan doesn't make any mistakes at this stage, it looks like Mongolia won't have a chance to become leaders. Now the red target is out in the range, 700-meter range to target, 15 rounds. 15 rounds with 6 traces to best correct fire accuracy. It's on target. Well done. Forward Mongolia. They're not certainly wasting any time. Only half a lap remains for them to race to the finish. Now Azerbaijan. Just look at this real rivalry, this showdown between these tank gladiators. Now this is the stuff why we're here, why we're all watching. That's what we love at this tank biathlon at Alabina. That's the reason all the fans are out in the stands. And Azerbaijan is about to perform their fire mission on a similar yellow target imitating the enemy AT-RPG unit. Now, regardless of who comes to the finish line first, right now we'd like to thank these tankers, their coaches, for everything they're doing. Certainly they made our day today. And today we're in for more treats. The next clash features Abkhazia, Tajikistan, Sudan and South Ossetia. Everyone that saw yesterday's South Ossetia race are aware that the technical commission and Azerbaijan strikes on the target. Now it's certainly going to be now a fight between the drivers in the speed lap. And continuing on the South Ossetia update, the technical commission and the umpires decided to give South Ossetia the field today to make up for their removal from the race yesterday. They were unable to continue the race due to technical problems. Now we see this sharp Armenian turn yesterday, almost flipping the tank of Armenia crew, reminding us of the long past 2014 when in the practice round Armenia actually flipped their armored vehicle, thankfully without damaging the tank or hurting any of the servicemen. Yesterday we had a similar mishap, albeit not resulting in a full flip. However, the tank's tracks clearly left the ground. You can always watch it in the reviews on YouTube. Certainly that was a fine spectacle of power and speed yesterday. And now I'd like to remind you that these tanks are capable of achieving top speeds of up to 70 kilometers. However, the record set by the Russian Federation crew from 2019 still stands at 84 kilometers an hour. Sergeant Shilin was the driver. Sergeant Ivan Aseyev, set this record, 84 kilometers an hour, enough to get a speaking ticket in some countries. Now, Azerbaijan through the minefield obstacle without striking any poles indicating mines. Well done for Azerbaijan driver. Just look, 5 out of 5 targets for Azerbaijan. And Mongolia, one mistake. You see, one target missed, and they are slightly behind on time. And Mongolia is coming to the finish line in these individual hits. The time just over 30 minutes. Only meters remain. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. It's a finish for Mongolia. 30:26 is the time for Mongolia third crew. Bravo. Introducing the crew. Tank Commander Lieutenant Batar Achir, the gunner and Batar Durangalan, the graduate of Top Tankers College. And the driver is Senior Warrant Officer Sagach Yolk. Well done to Mongolia tankers. Well done, Mongolia. Fine work today. Certainly giving us something to enjoy on this fine day. Azerbaijan is not far behind. No mistakes shall be made here. 25:26 is the time. Only one obstacle remains. And let's hope Azerbaijan makes it without any red flags. It's quite possible that this crew will enter the top 7 best in individual hits. And now the anti-tank range easily with a big step. Azerbaijan climbs out of the trench, and this race is almost at the finish. A fine, memorable rivalry between Azerbaijan and Mongolia. This is the 10th anniversary tank biathlon, the brightest spectacle of the Army International Games. Azerbaijan, bravo, well done. 26:12, best time for Azerbaijan. Just look at these happy faces of Azerbaijani coaches. The emotions of the fans of Azerbaijan waving their national colors at Alabina. Introducing the crew. Warrant Officer Safiya Raslanov, the tank commander, gunner Bakhtiyar Kumbetov, and driver Mirali Rahimov was the tank's driver. Azerbaijan, well done. And dear friends, 11 o'clock today is going to see the next race. In slightly more than 20 minutes will feature Abkhazia, Sudan, South Ossetia. South Ossetia, as we informed you earlier, is going to get a second chance today in this ground. And right now we can see military salutes being exchanged in the stands. The coaches, the referees are thanking their servicemen for this fine showdown. They actually overtook Mongolia. The first and second crews performed not as well as the third, so they learned the hard lessons and snatching victory in this individual hits round. 26:12 for Azerbaijan and Mongolia 30:26. Top speeds recorded 72 kilometers an hour and 71 for both teams. Well done once again. And this the Azerbaijani servicemen greeting and congratulating their friends in the staging area. Certainly emotions were thick today at Lapina, and we hope all the remaining individual hits and also the relay races are going to be as bright, as interesting, and as thrilling as this race. Now over to the rankings table. According to the first week of individual heat races, the first three lines, Russia 1, Russia 2, Belarus 1, follows by China. Closing the rankings are Kyrgyzstan, Azerbaijan and Vietnam. However, this is not the final table. This is actually the last rankings. Venezuela, first and second crew, are unfortunately not performing well in the first division this year. And let me remind you that the team which will come last in the first division is going to be relegated to the second division next year. Vice versa, the second division teams are in with a chance to score their ticket to the first division in case of taking gold in the second. Well, once again, over to the highlights. The second place in the point race for Mongolia. Well, certainly difficult to find any fault with the strong side. The miss on target number 12. You can't even call it a mistake, really. It didn't work out, but I think the crew put in their best and performed 100%, certainly, in this race. Some fine obstacles were passed by the team. 2 penalty laps set them back the 2 minutes and probably cost them the victory in this race. And now over to Azerbaijan, the leaders in this race. Division 1, Heat 7. Well, certainly we'd like to express our gratitude to Azerbaijan. Just look how fine clockwork, all of the crew, like a well-oiled machine, doing their best, achieving this small victory. Only 2 teams featured. Certainly this was an endurance race for both teams, going neck to neck. And also the first and second crews of Azerbaijan lost to Mongolia. However, they could collect themselves, learn the hard lessons, and overtake Mongolia at the finish line. Once again, thank you to the tankers, and thank you to the fans, all of you, offline and online audiences. YouTube, Zvezda, the Star TV channel. Thank you all for joining us today for this thrilling, adrenaline-fueled action. And this was your Tank Biathlon host, Nikolai Fedorov, and co-hosting for the English-speaking audiences, Dmitry Kulinsky. Take care of each other, love each other, and stay well. Your Ministry of Defense, Russian Federation, is always and forever with you. Thank you.
Те, кто сегодня болел, поддерживал команды. Мы в эфире телеканала «Звезда». Все заезды вы можете посмотреть, прямые трансляции на официальном сайте телеканала «Звезда», на официальном сайте Министерства обороны Российской Федерации mil.ru, в Рутубе. Ну что ж, всем еще раз огромное спасибо. С вами был комментатор танкового биатлона Николай Федоров. Берегите друг друга, любите друг друга и будьте счастливы. Ваше Министерство обороны Российской Федерации всегда и навсегда с вами. Спасибо!
На телеканале «Звезда» новый выпуск дневника армейских международных игр 2022. С вами Павел Ремнев. И вот о чем расскажем сегодня.
Команда «Огонь» для военных поваров.
Ну как оцениваешь первую пристрелку?
Нормально, хорошо.
Все, мишень,
Всё
прицел,
удачи.
все работает. Десяточка?
Десяточка.
И зачем им белые листы?
Секретная информация.
Да.
А вот мишени для снайперов на конкурсе в Венесуэле спрятали на совесть, кто-то даже и не нашел.
Они потратили, может, время подготовки на то, чтобы не найти мишень, а на что другое, я не знаю. А я лег и начал искать мишень.
И такого на открытии конкурса «Открытая вода» не ждал никто. Команды России и Белоруссии готовятся форсировать Аку. На скорость будут переправлять танки и артиллерийские установки.
Сегодня на полигоне в Алабине вновь все внимание приковано к заездам танкового биатлона. На трассу вместе с Китаем, Белоруссией и Киргизией вышла наша сборная. Это индивидуальная гонка вторых экипажей первого дивизиона. На трибунах за команды переживают тренеры, болельщики. И Валентин Гвоздев, конечно, он расскажет про успехи и промахи на трассе.
Сегодня на полигоне в Алабине стартуют вторые экипажи первого дивизиона танкового биатлона в индивидуальной гонке. На старте боевые машины из Киргизии, России, Республики Беларусь и Китая. Сегодня основной соперник – время. Стать победителем этапа может любой экипаж. Для этого нужно быстрее соперников пройти трассу и без штрафных баллов. Первыми на дистанцию выходят киргизские танкисты на зеленом танке. Первый огневой рубеж и досадный промах. Не помог даже дополнительный боекомплект. А значит, 2 штрафных круга по 500 метров. Следом стартует наш экипаж на красной боевой машине. С самого начала ребята взяли хороший темп, но экипажу пришлось заменить танк. Потеря более 8 минут времени не будет учитываться, так как замена не по вине экипажа. В основном все 4 экипажа показали сегодня достойный результат, а победитель этапа будет определен 21 августа после заездов третьих экипажей. Тогда же будет определен состав команд для участия в эстафете. Валентин Гвоздев, Андрей Подгорнов и Федор Мягков. Телеканал «Звезда», Московская область.
А сейчас промежуточные итоги армейских игр. Кто пока удерживает лидирующие позиции? Какие в этом году арбитры отмечают особенности в прохождении этапов? Слово главному судье, генерал-полковнику Александру Ленцову.
По предварительным результатам в общем зачете игр на сегодня у нас лидирует Россия, 2 место Беларусь, 3 Узбекистан. Но хочу акцентировать внимание, что не только по местам можно судить, но и по результатам, которые показывают участники состязаний. Очень плотно по секундам, очень плотно по баллам проходят все конкурсы.
На Каспии началась активная фаза конкурса «Арми Кубок моря». Экипажи стреляли по макету плавающие мины из крупнокалиберного пулемета. Важно было не только поразить цель, но и сделать это на высокой скорости. Российским морякам не составило труда попасть в мишень на максимальных 15 узлах. Это 25 км в час. Азербайджанский экипаж делит с нашей сборной первое место. На втором участнике из Казахстана. Иранским морякам мина так и не покорилась. Они пока на нижней строчке таблицы. Постреляли от души и минометчики в Казахстане. Там прошел самый сложный этап конкурса «Арми. Мастера артиллерийского огня». Конкурс назывался «Ночной спринт». Бойцы отработали по целям и прошли коварную трассу на многоцелевых тягачах почти в полной темноте. Редкие осветительные ракеты не в счет. Российская команда пока в числе лидеров состязаний. А в Беларуси на полигоне конкурса «Полярная звезда» за золото армейских игр сражаются бойцы спецподразделений. На огневой рубеж первыми вышли гранатометчики.
Спецназовцы также отработали по мишеням из автоматов и пистолетов. Российская команда пока на втором месте. Впереди этапы штурм, засада и снайпер. Армии начались и для четвероногих спортсменов в Узбекистане. Торжественно открылся конкурс военных кинологов «Верный друг». Здесь наши друзья, соперники, Алжир, Белоруссия и хозяева турнира. Состязания пройдут в мужском и женском зачетах. В Венесуэле участникам снайперского рубежа пришлось искать замаскированную мишень. Фигуру в камуфляже в густых зарослях нашли не все. Но наши парни справились. За первым этапом самого меткого конкурса армии следит Виктория Косогляденко.
Пальмовые аллеи, тропические растения. Такими нам обычно представляются курорты Карибского моря. Но, как оказалось, военные полигоны тут выглядят точно так же. И под пальмами тут припаркована вот такая техника. Это супер-вездеход 8×8. На нем передвигается группа, которая отвечает за мишени, поднимает их в исходное положение. А они здесь расставлены так, что подобраться порой непросто. Кое-где можно и увязнуть. И вот когда там мишени уже выставлены на нужном удалении, здесь их уже взяли на прицел. Вот он, самый главный участок полигона, тот самый снайперский рубеж. Отсюда ведут огонь. А стреляют сегодня все из одного положения. Упор лежа. Сначала нужно обнаружить замаскированную мишень. На это минута. Когда цель найдена, есть 3 попытки ее поразить. Кому-то удается с первого выстрела, а некоторые за отведенные 60 секунд так и не понимают, куда целиться.
Она камуфлирована в зеленый цвет. А там мишень стоит на фоне леса. И там внимательно нужно было посмотреть. Они потратили, может, время подготовки на то, чтобы не найти мишень, а на что другое, я не знаю. А я лег и начал искать мишень в первую очередь, и все. И эти 40 секунд, которые дали, я потратил на то, чтобы просто найти.
В итоге 2 упражнения первого этапа лучше всех выполняет сборная России. Следом Мьянма и Узбекистан. Виктория Косогляденко и Павел Красиков, телеканал «Звезда», полигон Трепайма, Венесуэла.
Россия и Белоруссия вышли на открытую воду. В Муроме торжественно стартовал самый масштабный конкурс армейских игр. В нем участвуют сотни военнослужащих. На берегу Оки за церемонией наблюдал Олег Лавров.
На фарватере Оки начинается парад инженерных войск. Под звуки оркестра открывается один из самых зрелищных конкурсов армейских игр – «Открытая вода». Вантовый полигон под Муромом во Владимирской области – традиционное место проведения конкурса, но в этом году он удивляет с самого начала. Это участник делает предложение руки и сердца своей возлюбленной во время церемонии открытия. Что-что, но такого не ожидал никто.
Уехали просто посмотреть армию игры, в итоге это предложение руки и сердца. Это просто, наверное, я мечтать даже об этом не могла.
Проплыв мимо трибун, понтонеры швартуются, начинается жеребьевка, разыгрывается створ. Казалось бы, вода одна и течение для всех равное, но от створа зависит многое.
Каждый створ, он своеобразен. Допустим, второй створ, там заезд посередине, коса чуть правее находится. В третьем створе коса левее.
Конкурс разделен на этапы. Первыми реку будут форсировать разведчики, затем экипажи плавающих транспортеров и паромно-мостовых машин доставят на противоположный берег военную технику. Финальный аккорд – оборудование командами взводного парома. На нем нужно будет доставить на другой берег Оки танк, артиллерийскую установку и другие бронемашины. За звание лучшего понтонно-переправочного подразделения борются 2 команды. Это сборная армии России и Республики Белоруссии. Скромное количество команд компенсируется их численностью по 60 человек личного состава в каждой и 35 единиц техники. Это больше, чем в какой-либо дисциплине армии в этом году. Большинство участников – военнослужащие, проходящие срочную службу. Почти 2 недели им предстоит форсировать Оку на время, чтобы улучшать свои результаты и проявить себя в финале по максимуму. Олег Лавров и Алексей Ревягин, телеканал «Звезда», Муром, Владимирская область.
А на полигоне Фариш гремели выстрелы. Это участники конкурса «Полевая кухня» соревновались в меткости. Оружие для наших военных привычное, автоматы Калашникова. Мешала только жаркая даже для Узбекистана погода. На огневом рубеже даже камни были раскалены. А экипироваться участникам и участницам нужно было как для полноценного боя. Расина Бодрова видела каждый выстрел и расскажет о хитростях, которые команды применяют для того, чтобы стрелять быстрее и точнее.
Участников конкурса «Полевая кухня» привезли по вот этим дорогам. Но кто-то, как и я, решил пройти весь маршрут пешком. Примерно километр вверх по скалистой местности. Такая небольшая физическая подготовка. Но вот уже мы находимся на плато. И посмотрите, специально для армии приготовили надпись на 3 языках. «Служба Родине. Священный долг».
Солнце раскаляет каждый камень под ногами. На построении 5 команд. Россия, Вьетнам, Белоруссия, Таджикистан, Узбекистан. Самое большее количество девушек в нашей сборной. Примерка экипировки. Шлемы и бронежилеты приходится подгонять по размеру.
Я, видимо, маленькая просто.
У кого-то в руках белый листочек. Спрашиваем, для чего?
Секретная информация.
Да. Просто бумажечка, чтобы закрывать правый глаз левый. Для стрельбы.
Словно консервную банку вскрывают цинк с патронами. Основу российской команды составляют победители всеармейского этапа, военнослужащие Восточного военного округа, также представители Балтийского и Северного флотов. Лежа, без упора с руки, 100 метров с автомата Калашникова. 10 минут даются участникам на 3 пробных выстрела.
10. Точное попадание. И это была пока только пристрелка. Причем на скорость и полет выстрела может повлиять даже ветер. Обратите внимание, что на каждой мишени фамилия участника. Значит, подменить результаты невозможно. Ну, как оцениваешь первую пристрелку?
Нормально, хорошо.
Все, мишень,
Всего
прицел,
удачи.
все работает. В десяточку?
Десяточка.
На конкурсный зачет дается 10 выстрелов и 20 минут. Но наша команда уложилась в 7. По итогам этого этапа первую тройку лидеров замкнули Узбекистан, Вьетнам и Россия. 4-е место у Белоруссии, 5-е Таджикистан. Расина Бодрова, Вадим Крестов, Максим Суслов и Магомед Саидов. Телеканал «Звезда», Узбекистан.
Клуб болельщиков армейских международных игр «За наших» начал работу в парке «Патриот». Развернуто более полусотни выставочных площадок, компьютерных симуляторов и тренажеров. Гости могут узнать историю создания конкурсов армии, осмотреть современную военную технику и вооружение, и даже попробовать себя в роли механика-водителя. Также открылся уникальный игровой комплекс «Кибер-Патриот», где можно поучаствовать в танковом сражении и протестировать мощные игровые компьютеры и приставки. И это были самые яркие кадры, самые интересные моменты и первые результаты очередного дня международных армейских игр 2022. На этом пока все. Встретимся вечером и подведем итоги.
Добрый день, дорогие уважаемые гости полигона Алабина. Конкурс «Танковый биатлон» самый зрелищный и самый большой. Выступает первый экипаж команды «Монголия». Первое препятствие — змейка, как сами танкисты ее называют. На танке желтого цвета — Республика Азербайджан. Первый выстрел — ЕССЕ! Ну что ж, вот и второй заезд индивидуальной гонки. Выступает 2-й дивизион. И в этом заезде сойдутся первые экипажи Лаоса, Армении, Сирии и Мьянмы. Сложно сдержать эмоции. Какое прекрасное время, Мьянма! Очередной заезд первого дивизиона. В этом заезде участвуют команды Вьетнама, Венесуэлы, Узбекистана и Казахстана. Экипажи занимают штатные места в танках Т-72Б3. Команда Узбекистана очень качественно подготовлена к конкурсу этого года. Мишень в поле, можно вести стрельбу. Браво, Узбекистан, 5 из 5. Очень сильная команда Казахстана начинает свое выступление в танковом биатлоне. Слаженность действий в ходе загрузки 3 штатных артиллерийских выстрелов. Есть цель, вдребезги. Прекрасная работа. Командир танка сборной Вьетнама знает свою работу на отлично. Посмотрите, как близко друг к другу сейчас идут два танка. Венесуэла и Казахстан. Выше уходят снаряды. Мишени, к сожалению, у команды Венесуэлы. Танковый биатлон начался. Танк красного цвета. Российская Федерация. Работает весь экипаж. Весь экипаж слаженно. Есть цель у нашей команды. Это Олег Орлов. Очень хорошо, очень яркая стрельба, прекрасные попадания. Помеха справа, нужно пропустить российскую сборную. Вперед, Россия! Российская Федерация. Первый экипаж выступил. Добрый день, дорогие уважаемые зрители телеканала «Звезда». Все болельщики танкового биатлона, кто сегодня смотрит здесь, на полигоне Алабино. Очередной заезд танкового биатлона. 19 августа 2022 года. 10-й юбилейный танковый биатлон 8-х армейских международных игр. Итак, в этом заезде выступают команды 2-го дивизиона. Вторые экипажи. И уже через несколько мгновений мы будем представлять страны. Ну а с вами комментатор танкового биатлона Николай Федоров. Прекрасная, замечательная погода стоит на полигоне. Прохладно, 22 градуса, легкий ветерок. Нужно его обязательно учитывать в ходе ведения боевой стрельбы, как по 12-м, так и по другим мишеням. Но вместе с тем ветер не сильный, поэтому, я думаю, со стрельбой будет все здорово и
today gets the chance to come back to this ground. We'll give you more details on this later. First to start is Sudan, and introducing crew 2 for Sudan. tank commander Corporal Ismail Ahmed. Gunner Corporal Abdel Rahim Mahana. And the driver Sergeant Suleiman Sharaf Eldin, Republic of Sudan, second crew. A red color-coded tank introducing Republic of South Ossetia, second crew. Introducing the tank commander, Senior Lieutenant Sergei Gabozov. Gunnery, Senior Lieutenant Dmitry Bukulov. And the driver, Sergeant Atamas Kazayev. South Ossetia, the red color-coded tank. The third boy line, the yellow color-coded tank, introducing the Republic of Tajikistan. The tank commander, Senior Lieutenant Said Mumin Muminov. The gunner, Senior Lieutenant Firuz Murodov. And the driver, Captain Said Leon Mirzoyev. Republic of Tajikistan. And the left flank, blue tank, Republic Abkhazia. Tank commander, Senior Lieutenant Andrei Gushin. Gunner, Damei Chania. And the driver, Senior Lieutenant Imran Karkhalava, Abkhazia. All that remains is to wish the best of luck to all the crews taking part in this race. Let's follow and support these teams. And the signal to start the race is given here at Alabina Army Proving Ground. This is the signal for the crews to take the job pattern seats in the T-72B3s, supplied to all of the teams except for China and Belarus, who use their own, to all of the teams. 840 horsepower engine, allowing this tank to achieve speeds of up to 70 kilometers an hour. However, the unbroken record set at this track back in 2019 still stands unbroken at 84 kilometers an hour. Enough certainly to get some traffic penalty notices in some countries. And now this is the chief referee, Major General Kirill Kulakov, the head of Kazan Tankers Academy, the cradle of many world-class tankers from Russia. And now Sudan is the first to move into the ground. Each crew needs to do 3 laps of the ground. The first lap is incomplete. The crew goes directly into the fire mission. However, the second and third laps are full. The full lap is 4 kilometers, 100 meters. And the total distance is just over 10 kilometers in this individual hits. Well done for Sudan in this maneuvering obstacle. Last time Sudan appeared in 2019, second division, taking the 8th position. 2 years break due to the pandemic, and now they are back at Alabina. Right now they are moving over to the ammunition loading bay. They're about to load their 125mm shells. 3 shells for the first fire mission. The difference between the first and second division fire missions is that no additional ammunition is allowed for second division teams. The 3 targets are raised simultaneously. This is another novelty on the previous years, enabling the gunner to engage any target they like at will, which can sometimes play cruel jokes, as in striking targets twice, which we saw happen in the previous race from Mongolia. These targets are ranged at distances from 17 to 1900 meters. So Sudan first crew this year is in the 18th position of the overall rankings in the individual hits. The time recorded was 54:38 by the team. However, the team missed 2 years. Certainly this can tell on active skills, since practice makes perfect, as we all know, ladies and gents. And these fire missions and the obstacles in the tank biathlon, they have to be practiced year-round if the crews want to show us the stuff that we expect from them. Now, Sudan is moving into the firing line, about to engage the 3 tank targets. Corporal Manaha Abdelrahim is the gunner who is going to perform this live fire. He is a 12-year-old veteran of Sudanese armed forces. However, this is his first time at the tank biathlon, upholding the order of Sudanese tankers at this international tank biathlon. Now the gunner is tracking for target. No 20-second limit is introduced here for the first shot. Another difference to the first division. All they need to do is shoot and hit. In case the targets remain intact, 2 penalty laps per target will be the penalty distance. The crew for the crew. And we can see the turret rotating, looking into the field for the green-colored targets. We can see these targets with the naked eye from this command post. I'm watching these targets right now, same as all of the referees, along with the chief referee of this contest, tank biathlon, Major General Kulakov. No reports from the tank commander on any technical difficulties. Probably concentrating and about to open fire. Let me remind you that only 4 minutes is allowed for the whole fire mission. And fire! Unfortunately, it looks like it's under, earning themselves 2 penalty laps. The first crew of Sudan only hit 1 target. So hopefully this result can be improved today. A bit sharper at the fire controls. 1700-meter target remains standing and it's under. I think fire has to be corrected by the coaches that are here with us at the command post and are in live comms with the tank commander. The tank commander then instructs his crew, and also the tank commander will need to tackle one fire mission himself personally. Speaking of the helicopter target, and we're expecting the 3rd shot from Sudan. Come on. And fire. Unfortunately, it looks like it's still under. 2 short for Sudan. The crew just earned themselves 6 penalty laps, equaling 500 meters per lap. So that's 3 Ks in total. Practically another full lap. And now South Ossetia, a red color-coded tank. Let me explain the reason for the red color-coded tank of South Ossetia. Everyone that were with us for the 2nd division hits yesterday are aware of what happened. Certainly it was through no fault of the crew. It was a technical problem which was ruled technical by the umpire commission. They had one tank replacement, however, they couldn't continue the race. The crew could not finish, and according to the rules, regardless of the number of tanks you use, only one replacement is allowed per race. That's the reason for the decision to allow. This was an unequivocal, please note, unequivocal decision by the international referee panel and the chief referee, Major General Kirill Kulakov, to give South Ossetia permission to take the field with the second division, second cruise for Abkhazia, Tajikistan and Sudan. Certainly this was no fault of South Ossetians. The representatives of the UBZ, the manufacturer of these fine armored vehicles, removed all the problems, and let's hope for some better performance from South Ossetia. Our closest friends, brothers, neighbors, many Russians reside in South Ossetia and vice versa. 6 penalty laps for Sudan. Sudan is now in the second. Still have to do a few more kilometers. And South Ossetia ammunition loading bay, loading the 3 standard artillery shells. 125mm rounds are used for the main caliber smoothbore cannon of the T-72B3s. Now all the hatches are sealed by the team. All hatches must be sealed according to the rules before taking the finish. And the 3 red color coded targets are now being raised. They're now out in the ground, and the tank commander will now report ready to fire. Certainly the guys are anxious, lots of pressure. This is the second chance, and certainly is an exception rather than the rule. However, once again, let me reiterate that this was, please note, an unequivocal, united decision by the international umpire panel. Second division, second crew allows South Ossetia to take the ground today with these 3 fine teams. And in the meanwhile, Sudan is struggling in the penalty distance, picking up speed, hopefully. They must have lost the way slightly. Yes, they lost the track. They need to come back. This is a rough terrain track, certainly giving the drivers an opportunity to show their best for their armored vehicles crossing this rough terrain and traversing the obstacles. Now the gunner is in no hurry to begin the fire for South Ossetia. It cannot be calmer, can it? Let's clarify with the chief referee the reasons for this South Ossetia delay. And just look at Sudan, he's going right through the fields. Slightly losing the way. Hopefully they will be able to get back on track without any assistance. It's time to come back on track. Enough travel. Good, they're back. However, still missing the road. They need to be corrected, certainly. And now fire, finally, South Ossetia. Unsuccessful at this stage. Continuing for the second target. Second. And this is also a miss. And in the meanwhile, Sudanese second crew is taking a break, probably observing the fire mission of the South Ossetian brothers. However, let's not enjoy the show for too long, guys, if you don't want to come last in this race. And South Ossetia is about to take the third shot. already earned themselves 4 penalty laps with the first 2. And third target just earned another 2 penalty laps for South Ossetia. And they just repeated Sudan in earning the 6 penalty laps. Hopefully Sudan finished watching and can move on. They're still relaxing out in the green. Tajikistan is out in the ground. Second crew for Tajikistan for this individual hits race. Let's wish all the best to our Tajik tankers. Let me remind you, Tajikistan took the field last year in the second division quite successfully. Barely missing the gold medal, becoming the silver prize winner. Kyrgyzstan team took first place, took gold, and earned the ticket into the first division this year. But certainly it is too early to call the result this year. First crew Myanmar still remains leaders with a time worthy of the first division. And we just saw Tajikistan knock a pole in an obstacle, while South Ossetia is racing, trying to make up for time lost in penalty laps. Everything is resting on the driver's shoulders now. He's certainly going to need to set some speed records here to save the team and save the day for South Ossetia. Back to the replay. This is where the rounds went. Over, close, but no cigar, unfortunately. And targets certainly need to be struck. A bit more fire accuracy is what we want to see from all of those teams. After all, this is why we're here, ladies and gents. And hitting on targets makes us happy. Now Tajikistan, second crew, loaded the 3 rounds for the tank fire mission. First crew for Tajikistan performed quite well in the top 5 at 34 minutes 32 seconds with 1 target out of 5 hit. Not a great result on fire accuracy. Let's hope the second crew of Tajikistan can rehabilitate the team and fulfill the first fire mission. The targets are out in the ground and fire! Tajikistan. Target intact. The shot went under. Fire is being now corrected by the coach for the team. They need to aim more carefully, and the second shot is a hit. Good fire correction by the coach for the Tajikistan team. And in the meanwhile, South Ossetia records the first lap time. However, still 3 kilometers of penalty distance remains for South Ossetia team. Third shot for Tajikistan. Unfortunately, only 1 target was hit. Actually, no, dear friends, no, we couldn't see it from our angle. Second target is also hit. So 2 targets out of 3, only earning Tajikistan 2 penalty laps and setting them as leaders in the race in terms of fire accuracy. And right now we'd like to go to the replays of the first Tajikistan fire. Perhaps it was also a hit that we couldn't see, but they certainly have 2 targets out of 3. In the meanwhile, Sudan is being escorted out of the green, back on track, slightly disoriented. No danger in that. It can happen and does happen at times. Sudan will now come back to the track and continue. Chief referee just confirmed 1 target was missed, only 2 penalty laps. Please note that the shot went over. And the coach told us it was under. However, the tankers understood each other, and the gunner performed well on the remaining target. Well done. And Tajikistan has overcome the fourth obstacle, continues. South Ossetia has already set up their 12.7mm anti-aircraft machine gun and is about to engage in their second fire mission. 6 penalty laps still remain for both Sudan and South Ossetia. 18 minutes almost passed for Sudan. Certainly it's a problem in and certainly lack of experience tells the crew missed the previous 2 years, and this is telling. I think that Sudan probably doesn't have a singular tank course where tankers can practice, and this is certainly a pity. Now Abkhazia is forward, streaming forward to begin their race. Blue color coded tank for Abkhazia, moving into the restricted obstacle, a restricted maneuvering. We saw Tajikistan make a mistake at the restricted maneuvering obstacle, which will result in a pit stop. Oh, look at this, went too far, too far. Be careful with the last pole. Only one pole remains. Well done, just skirting it. The razor's edge, he made it. White flags. No penalties will apply to Abkhazia for this obstacle. Imran Karkhalava, the senior lieutenant driver for Republic of Abkhazia, first time in this tank by a 25-year-old. And Sudan is now back on track, being assisted by the line flagman. And is about to continue their penalty laps. Loading ammunition now. In a few seconds. Tajikistan going into the second lap, recording lap time of 7:31, 1 minute 34 seconds ahead of South Ossetia, without counting the penalty laps remaining. Tajikistan silver prize winners from 2021. This was clearly a mistake by South Ossetia. This will result in a pit stop. Well, the slope has been quite difficult for all of the drivers in the second division and some drivers in the first. Imran Karkhalava, the gunner, is handing these shells. 125mm shells. Quite heavy shells, mind you, are loaded. And after the report of the tank commander, they're going to move into the fire line and engage the first 3 targets. The coach is now reporting ready to progress. It's time to raise the targets. 3 minutes 20. Tajikistan is certainly the leader in this race at this stage. A very strong team. And Abkhazia first crew took the 12th position, only striking one target, number 12. Holding our breath for Abkhazia to open fire. The tank targets allocated at distances from 16 to 1800 meters, and in the meanwhile South Ossetia is engaging the helicopter target, and it's a strike. The tank commander for South Ossetia, also a graduate of the Far East All Armed Forces Academy, a graduate from 2020, Senior Lieutenant Sergei Gabozov performed this fire mission for South Ossetia. His loving wife, he is actually a newlywed, is supporting him today. South Ossetia is moving away, about to continue the race. Many servicemen, international servicemen, according to international obligations, are studying at the Russian Federation military academies, military colleges, and then come back to their own nations, to their own armed forces, to transfer these important skills and experience they collected during their study in Russia. Tajikistan traversing the slope. Looks like Tajikistan is now about to go through the vertical step. No stopping right now. Well done. Well done. The turret is open. The tank commander seals it. All is well. As long as the crew closes the turret themselves, closes the catch themselves, this won't result in penalties. And the first shot for Abkhazia is a hit. Abkhazia fans are celebrating, certainly happy for this first fire. Abkhazia, the Meichania, the gunner, senior lieutenant for Abkhazia, is performing this fire mission, also a graduate of the Far East All Armed Forces Academy. And now racing past the Glory Mount is Sudan, trying to catch up, lost time. 17 minutes, 20 seconds behind the leaders. Just look at this. Look at this last obstacle, and Abkhazia very well done. Two targets hit in exactly the same position. Concentrated fire from Abkhazia. One shell remains, as well as one target still standing for Abkhazia. Let's hold our breath and fingers crossed. In the meanwhile, Tajikistan is about to engage the helicopter target with the anti-aircraft machine gun. Shot volleys, 15 rounds and 6 traces. However, all eyes are on Abkhazia tank targets. Certainly this is the most engaging fire mission. Third shot, again repeating the filigree work. The whole all of the 3 shots, 3 targets are struck in exactly the same position by Abkhazia. In the meanwhile, Tajikistan struck on the helicopter target. Successful hits recorded. Tajikistan 3 out of 5 continues along. Certainly fine work. Abkhazia is also following closely. Certainly this will be the favorites of this race. Tajikistan and Abkhazia are the favorites at this stage, with Sudan. Just look at the replay. It's as if they're hitting the same target, but no, these were 3 different targets. However, this filigree the same corner of the target. Now Abkhazia passed the minefield obstacle. White flags by the lineman indicate no fault. However, South Ossetia mistake. Going to see it in the replays. We are watching them doing the penalty pit stop for breaching the last obstacle. About 1 minute is wasted and this penalty pit stop, unfortunately for the team. In the meanwhile, Abkhazia out of board. White flags by the flagman. Certainly no mistakes are made. However, mistakes are possible if the driver chooses the wrong gear. He may not be able to escape out of water. It's a 1.5 meter deep obstacle. South Ossetia. 156. Now memory. They're about to tackle their last fire mission. They're about to stop and load their coaxial machine gun. And Sudan and the escarp and the vertical step practically destroying the vertical step. And in a replace, which is also then scuff one of the poles. That's a clear penalty. That's a second slow. Hopefully they can traverse without any red flags. Slight scuffs. Oh no! It's a penalty. Unfortunately, for them. South Ossetia. Time was just stopped for South Ossetia. They had a problem with communications. Hopefully this problem is now eliminated. Comms are fine. And they're about to continue. Abkhazia surging along into the second lap, recording 11:37. Tajikistan very close to the third lap now. While Abkhazia is already in the third, however, their 6 penalty laps still remain. Actually putting Tajikistan in the lead in this race. Certainly it's not over until the last minute, until the finish line is crossed. And we're watching Abkhazia now setting up their machine gun. The Commander-in-Chief of Ground Forces, Russian Federation, Army General Oleg Selukov, is commanding this Army International Games in Russian Federation, along with a tank biathlon. And also, we'd like to remind you that the 1st of October in Russian Federation is the annual Day of Ground Forces. So, dear friends, don't forget, the 1st of October, you can congratulate all of your friends from Russian land, from Russian ground forces with their special day on the 1st of October. Back in 1550, the ground forces of Russian Federation saw their birth. The Tsar Ivan IV constituted the ground forces of Russia. And the fire mission for Sudan helicopter target is being engaged with 12.7mm rounds. We don't see where these rounds are going. The target is still intact at this stage. And in the meanwhile, the chief referee, South Ossetia, another mistake. Probably a mistake was made at the designated pit stop obstacle. Sudanese tank commander continues fire. Corporal Ahmed Ismail, a 5-year veteran of Sudanese Armed Forces, a 2nd-year veteran of this tank biathlon. He was here back in 2019, taking part in the contest. Well, he's still not out of ammo. However, we don't see the flare burning. In the meanwhile, South Ossetia stopped right next to Sudan, about to tackle their fire mission as well. They need to load up on ammunition, while Sudan is concluding fire, unfortunately without striking the target. And Tajikistan is about to record their second lap time. 20 minutes 42 seconds was the time for Tajikistan. South Ossetia is 1 minute 6 seconds behind with another 6 penalty laps remaining. Abkhazia is certainly looking good for the second position at this stage. However, too early to tell. It's going to be a close one. Sudan continues progress, about to enter their penalty laps. And South Ossetia in the third fire mission on the enemy anti-tank RPG unit. This is a glass-covered target which shatters even from hits with a single round, making it quite easy for the audience to witness these hits on target. Coaxial Kalashnikov tank coaxial machine gun 7.62mm is used in this fire mission. Well, apparently South Ossetia is out of ammo, with the target remaining intact. This will certainly result in a penalty lap for South Ossetia. Tajikistan is now at the designated stop obstacle, setting up their 7.62mm coaxial machine gun and streaming forward. An awesome show from Tajikistan today. The speed quite high. Some mistakes do exist on targets. One target will remain. They have a chance to end this race with 4 targets hit out of 5 possible. Abkhazia now scuffing the slow obstacle, earning themselves a pit stop. Climbing the vertical step. It's a pleasure to see no problems in the vertical steps from any team. However, Abkhazia team has earned themselves a pit stop for the fault at the slope. Ladies and gents, let me remind you that all of these armored vehicles, except for Chinese Type 96B and Belarus's own T-72B3, are supplied by Russian Federation posts. Certainly any team bring their own tanks, good teams take advantage of this opportunity. T-72B3 is a famous continuation of the old T-72 model, commissioned back in 2012 as the main battle tank of the Russian ground forces. Increased mobility, a more powerful powertrain, higher firepower, and upgraded fire controls are the features of this model. This upgrade is equipped with an 840 horsepower engine, and Sudan in the meanwhile is in trouble. Be careful, South Ossetia is very close. Sudan is obstructing the road for South Ossetia by reversing. Hopefully they can continue along their own track. Certainly we don't want to see any accidents with collisions. The driver, Suleiman Sharafeldin, is back on the track, picking up speed, trying to compensate for time lost previously. The driver knows the track well, and we should expect more accuracy with the track and the obstacles. However, South Ossetia fire mission. Perhaps the vision and optics of the Sudanese tank are obstructed, preventing clear visibility for the driver. Certainly, they lost their way quite a number of times today. Once again in the reviews. This sharp turn, this famous Armenian turn where we almost saw an Armenian crew flip the tank yesterday. Our friends from Armenia are not upset with this designation. They're proud that one of the turns at this track bears their name instead. Thankfully, no serious incident was recorded. However, it was close to flipping. But thankfully, everyone is safe and sound, and the drivers were instructed to exercise extreme caution at this sharp Armenian turn in the future. Because, let me remind you once again, 2014 did see a tank flipped in this sharp turn during practice rounds by the Armenia team. And South Ossetia is close to the finish line. In the meanwhile, two targets remain out in the ground. Yellow AT-RPG for Tajikistan and blue helicopter target for Abkhazia. South Ossetia is at the finish line, 33-12. And we saw 27-22 recorded by Tajikistan, continuing to stay in the lead of this individual heats race. Hopefully no time will be lost by Tajikistan. We saw them miss on the last fire mission. South Ossetia has not done their penalty laps for the reason that penalty lap entrance was obstructed by other teams. That's why the team went straight to the finish line, and their average penalty lap time multiplied by 6 is going to be added to the 33-12 best time of South Ossetia. This is going to be corrected upwards for South Ossetia to include the 6 penalty laps. Nonetheless, we'd like to thank South Ossetia second crew. Thank you, Sergei Gabozov, Senior Lieutenant, Tank Commander, the gunner, Dmitry Bukulov, Senior Lieutenant, and Sergeant Atsa Maskazayev was the driver for South Ossetia. Well done, bravo. And now Sudan losing the threadway. This is an example of how the threadway should not be passed, certainly. This has just earned them a penalty lap. And by the way, today, if today's race had happened on the 26th of August, it would have been even more significant for both republics. both Abkhazia and South Ossetia celebrate their Independence Day on the 26th. Next week we are going to congratulate their dear friends, our closest neighbors from Abkhazia and South Ossetia with their Independence Day. And right now, careful out in the track, giving way on the right for the blue. Back to back, certainly, neck to neck for Abkhazia and Tajikistan. Tajikistan in the third lap, Abkhazia still in the second. Very hard to tell who is going to win this race as yet. In case Abkhazia scores no penalty laps at the fire mission, they are still in with a chance for victory in this battle. Sudan 42.57 in the third lap, about to engage in their third fire mission. First crew recorded a time of 38 minutes. The support of these crews by the fans, by the audience, is so important for the tankers. Despite not hearing the thunderclap of applause and the cheers from the stands, the tankers still feel the emotions, this electric atmosphere here at Alabina. And by the way, dear friends, the chief referee of the Army International Games, Colonel General Alexander Litsov, is also here to observe the races. And right now, Tajikistan is out on the board, going for the finish line. There remains only 3 obstacles. We haven't seen a single Tajikistan crew record any problems at the slope this year. Well done for Tajikistan. Screaming for the heel obstacle now. Well, this year we're not going to see any flying tanks. The crews were instructed in terms of safety to avoid these flying lips we used to see in the previous years. Certainly a pity for the audiences, but safety considerations are paramount at this track. And Tajikistan is going into the deep, into the sharp turn through the obstacle, restricted passage, while Sudan is going fire mission. This is the third fire mission, the enemy anti-tank RPG unit, and a little further ahead, tomorrow, France on the 20th of August. We're expecting a showdown from the first division, Vietnam, Venezuela, Kazakhstan, and second division, Laos, Armenia, Syria, and Myanmar. Third crews are taking the field for the second division, and the second crews are ending their show today. Tajikistan 33.04 elapsed into the race, and the finish line. Tajikistan 3-2-1. Bravo, Tajikistan, well done. So far, taken a strong position in this individual hits race. Well, overall rankings, winners are also going to be decided based on the statistics from individual hits. A big thank you to coaches and referees from Tajikistan. We can see that the team has learned the hard lessons of last year, striking 3 targets out of 5 and making good time. Certainly satisfactory result at least. Still, no complacency for the third cruise, and we hope to see an even stronger show from Tajikistan quite soon for the third cruise. Right now, Sudan out in the fire mission. The enemy anti-tank unit still unsuccessful. 0 fire accuracy from Sudan in this race. Some hard lessons, some conclusions are certainly in order for Sudan. Well, no, once again, practice makes perfect. In the meanwhile, Abkhazia records 29 minutes lap time for the second lap and are in lap 3. Dear audiences, many spectators come here to Alabina, to the stands, buying tickets for this tank biathlon. The tickets are available at the tanky-biathlon.ru and cost at about $20 in exchange rates. Certainly a small price to pay for witnessing this thrilling, adrenaline-fueled action. However, also thank you to our online audiences, YouTube, the Ministry of Defense Russian Federation, and Zvezda, the Star TV channel. Many countries, 35 countries, are featuring this year in the 8th Army International Games. Making it a truly grand event. Venezuela, for instance, is now holding the Sniper Frontier competition as we speak. And all the data on the International Army Games can be learned at the official website of Army International Games called Army 2022. Just look it up, Google it, and you can read up about the contests, watch tank biathlon, and support the Russian Federation along with other teams. Now, Abkhazia reporting ready for the third fire mission. The Kalashnikov coaxial machine gun has been set up. Only one fire mission remains on the stage. All of the crews are in the third lap, except for Tajikistan and South Ossetia. And Sudan is now streaming for the finish line. Almost 60 kilometers an hour, revving this engine, trying to compensate for lost time. Maximum speed recorded today was 68 kilometers per hour by the Sudanese team. Certainly there were mistakes, but they are fast and not making many mistakes in the third lap. Dear friends, the tank biathlon this year celebrates its 10th anniversary since its conception back in 2013 by the Minister of Defense, Russian Federation, hero of Russia, Minister of Defense Sergei Shoigu gave start to this tank biathlon, and we only had 4 teams in the first biathlon: Russia, Kazakhstan, Belarus, and Armenia. However, this year we are seeing 21 nations. The strongest tankers of the world are here in this amicable contest, not in the battlefield, but in this proving ground, performing these fire missions, obstacle challenges, certainly promoting friendship and cooperation. And we'd like to wish everyone worldwide peaceful skies. Now, continuing on, not losing pace, and Sudan is about to end this race. Only one race remains for the third cruise in individual hits. Each team is fielding 3 crews for the tank biathlon. Also, 1 fourth crew is and the only team this year that was represented by 1 crew was Mali. represented by its military cadets undergoing their studies in the Russian Federation. Abkhazia needs to stop at the ammo loading bay. This is their last fire mission. Abkhazia started last and is also about to finish fourth. So far showing us 34 minutes best time. 15 rounds are loaded into the coaxial machine gun for the last fire mission on the anti-tank unit. The target is located at a distance from 6 to 900 meters. So then, white flags, no fault, and all is ready to finish. Well, it was certainly a challenging race for Sudan, the driver, the gunner, but certainly they did everything they could. Nothing remains but to thank them for this performance. Hopefully, third crew for Sudan can give us a better show yet. Please put your hands together for Sudan at the finish line. Well, they decided to stop just before the finish, and it's counted. Sudan, 53-38 at the finish line. Well, it's a record for the team. This is best time recorded yet for Sudan. The time for South Ossetia, let me remind you, is not finalized. It's going to be corrected because the team has not done 6 penalty laps. Chief referee directed them to the finish line because the penalty laps were taken by other teams and the average time will be added. Now the coaches and the chief referee and the referee for Sudan are welcoming their servicemen, but we can see that the chief referee and coach have some serious considerations, probably thinking about how best to do the homework for this third crew and practice rounds before the third crew takes the field for the nation. In the meanwhile, Abkhazia, last target remaining. We're expecting unfortunately we did not see any hits recorded and themselves one penalty lap. The turret has to be facing correct. Abkhazia, very little remains. Everything is resting on driver's shoulders. He needs to get the team out of trouble with this penalty lap. Let's hope we can tackle it. Because today, in a sense, his wife Anna is here at Alabina. She's supporting her husband that is driving the Abkhazia tank. And this is his lovely lady wife. Dear friends, she is supporting, following her husband. A great show by the team. Certainly second division teams are slightly weaker than the first division, but this doesn't mean that these teams are not preparing and in the coming years in the first division after some brilliant performances in the second. Long straight. Time to speed up. that tomorrow, on the 20th of August, we are going to see the first division showdown. Third cruise, Vietnam, Venezuela, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan. In the second heat of tomorrow, we are going to see the third cruise for the second division, Laos, Armenia, Syria, and Myanmar. And let me remind you, Myanmar first crew leads the rankings for the second division. 21st of August, Sunday, is going to be a full day. 3 races are on the menu. The long-awaited third crew clash from the third crew of Russian Federation are going to go for a clash with Belarus, Kyrgyzstan, and the People's Republic of China. And also second division are in Zimbabwe, South Ossetia, and then Abkhazia, Tajikistan, and Sudan. This will take place on Sunday, the 21st of August. And then the strongest 8 teams in the first division are going to enter the semi-finals of the relay race. There's going to be 2 semi-finals on the 23rd and the 24th of August. And then, out of the 8 teams in the semi-finals, 4 teams are going to enter the final on the 27th of August. On the day when the 8th Army International Games are going to be officially closed. 2 weeks is the time for the Army International Games, but the tank biathlon is certainly the largest scale event, and it was started slightly earlier, 2 days before the official opening ceremony. We have enough time for all of the ranging, all of the practice rounds, and to be able to give all of these tank crews the ground, the field this year. Annually, a huge number of countries is invited to the tank biathlon for certain reasons. Only those that are here today arrived this year, and that's fantastic to see. These are our friends, our partners, sharing close ties, strategic ties, friendship ties with the Russian Federation. Let's hope that these ties remain forever. As I mentioned earlier, 35 countries, 258 teams feature in this Army International Games. The geography of the competition is growing, and quite soon, we hope, a year will come when the Army International Games are going to be held at every continent of our planet, and maybe beyond yet, out in the space. Well, the games are developing. And now, please put your hands together for Team Abkhazia. Second crew is finishing its show in this tank biathlon, but there is, I think it was a small mistake by the driver. And now, almost at the finish line. Second crew Abkhazia using their own track. Careful now for the driver. Only meters remain. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Finish line. Bravo. Abkhazia ends the race for